a lot of the commercials and the television shows, if you notice, my brother, you are seeing an overwhelming amount of what? Interracial relationships, an surmounting amount of biracial relationships, and an overwhelming amount of LGBTQ relationships. How often do you see a black man and a black woman and a black child either on a television show or a commercial? They are programming our children to not reproduce with each other.
I don't know. That has to be some, you know what? I think about my childhood, though. I think about me personally, right? And there would have to be some hellified convincing to get me as a child to think that I want to have sex with a man.
Even with the influence of peer pressure.
Man.
So let me get this right. Wait now. Now you're talking to a school psychologist now. You're telling me you go into the school, you are a child with low self-esteem. You want to fit in.
Well, I didn't have low self-esteem, so that's probably
what. But remember, my brother, we're not dealing with the individual. We're dealing with it systemically. Okay, systemically, children want to fit in, black, white, or purple. They want to fit in with their peers. So if I want to fit in, I want to be part of something popular. I'm a nobody. I don't get any attention. And the most popular and the most respected gang in my middle school or high school is the LGBTQ gang. Right. Even though I'm coming from a strong Christian home, a strong Muslim home, are you telling me, my brother, you don't think that child is susceptible to being included in that lifestyle as a measure of being accepted? I see it all the time. I do all the time.
All right, I do think so, and I'll tell you my answer when we come back. DrUmarJohnson on the live line with us, 773-5916. Or DrUmarJohnson on the live line with us, guys, talking about CPS decision when they return to school in late August, early September, to provide condoms starting at 5th grade. Dr. Johnson said, hey, this is an attack on the black family with all the influences from the LGBTQ community, which Dr. Johnson said started, with President Obama in office. And Doc, let me say this, man. I think those influences are out there. There's no question about it. I'm not disagreeing with you on that at all. I think they're out there. I'm concerned, and I've said this on the show, and some of my LGBTQ friends come at me when I say this. Gay adoption, I think, is a big influence.
Let us clarify, though. Let us clarify. When we talk about the LGBTQ movement, I'm speaking specifically about the U.S. government-funded and backed movement of LGBTQ, which is a systemic campaign to rob African Americans of the civil rights our ancestors died for, and to pass them over to the LGBT community so that civil rights gets associated more with homosexuals and lesbians than with the black people who fought and died for it. The individual African-American lesbians, gays, queers, transgenders, I don't agree with their lifestyle, but I don't take issue with them as a human being. So in other words, I love all black people, whatever your issue is. Now, of course, I reserve the right to disagree with lifestyles that I think are threatening to the survival of the black community. And no doubt, same-sex relationships are a threat to the survival of the black community, but I'm not speaking of them. I'm speaking of this, like this conversation we're having about Chicago public schools introducing condoms to 5th graders. You can't separate that from the larger social agenda to reduce the black population rate. This is coming straight from the policy. Let me read this one sentence. This is the policy.
Go ahead.
In grades 3 through 12, comprehensive instruction expands on the foundational lessons in grades K to 2 by providing lessons on the following 5 areas specified in the National Sexuality Education Standards. Consent, that's number 1. Anatomy and physiology, number 2. Puberty and adolescent sexual development, number 3. Okay, I have no problem with those 3. Now listen to the last 2. Gender identity and expression, and sexual orientation and identity. Now, when you and I were in school, we didn't get no health class that gave us lessons on gender identity and expression or sexual orientation and identity. See, that is the real agenda for the condom usage in the first place.
This is what I would say. I would say that these condoms are going to be available to white kids in Chicago public schools as well. And my thoughts is it's more of the influence, the political influence of the LGBTQ community. And we are in a city where we have the first LGBTQ mayor, right? And we have aldermen who are gay. And so I think those influences, where I agree with you, those influences are present. I'm not sure that it's a direct target on the African-American community, but brother, I think it's a good conversation.
Target.
Hey, I think it's a good conversation for us to be having.
Are you aware, good brother, that in 2014, there was a crisis that happened in Chicago, albeit shortly lived, where parents of students who attended the Andrew Jackson Language Academy in Chicago, this happened in November of 2014, the children came home with some of the sex education lessons from the Andrew Jackson Language Academy, and they were basically teaching the children how to use anal condoms. You can look it up. And parents were irate. Why is my child being taught how to use anal condoms in Chicago public schools? I'm telling you, my brother, this is just the beginning. They're just getting started. They simply want the black community to buy into the condoms, and then the next thing you know it, they'll be teaching our children all types of things that a lot of us are not comfortable with.
So let me ask you this, though. Are you convinced, and because this is what I hear you saying, you're convinced that the Obama administration, that they succumb to this idea of what? Attacking the black family because a lot of our listeners feel that President Obama was attacking
the black family by any means necessary.
So you're saying
mass incarceration, miseducation, economic castration, and this agenda right here is what I refer to as gendercide. We want to blur the lines between what makes a man and a girl, confuse the children into only entertaining relationships with the same sex, and we can bring about an extermination of the black family. Keep in mind, my brother, in Atlanta, Georgia, the homosexual black male AIDS rate is higher in Atlanta than it is in many second and third world nations. Black men are dying from AIDS, gay black men. So when we talk about homosexuality in black males, we often fail to address the health risk and the life risk to black men who engage in homosexuality. That is always left out of the question. This is a campaign to exterminate black folks, and you can't kill off blacks unless you can stop our children from building black families.
All right, 773-591-1690. Doc, thanks for coming on with us, man. You've got my phone lines jammed. I'm about to get to these phone calls when I return. Tell our listeners how they can follow you.
Absolutely. I want to let them also know that I'll be in Kenosha, Wisconsin on August the 21st at the request of Jacob Blake's family. There will be a march in Raleigh. I know Kenosha isn't that far from Chicago, so I'll be out there for the first time, August the 21st to march, and I will also be speaking there. That is Saturday, August the 21st. Folks who want to connect with me, 215-989-9858, and I will be coming back to Chicago to offer my 12-hour Black Parent Know Your School Rights boot camp sometime this fall.
Let me know when you do, as always, my friend. It's always good having you on the show.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you.
All right.